Hi, I'm Mark McPherson with one of my blogs in the series, 52 blogs in 52 weeks, with each blog being about one of my 52 types of people who are poorly behaved and at times downright difficult. This week I'm talking about and writing about number 14, the interjector. The interjector is the person who interjects when somebody is speaking. You get halfway through a sentence and bang, they're in. It's pretty rude, pretty frustrating, pretty annoying. And I think the best way of explaining the interjector is to give you an example. So here goes. Recently, an acquaintance of mine, Bill. Now, I'm sorry about this. It's a true story. The name isn't Bill, but I think the best way I can actually explain this is by giving a real story. So here goes. Bill. Bill and I were having a discussion, and Bill leant across the table. We're having coffee, and Bill leant across the table and said, Mark, how's your business going? Is it going okay? It's a personal sort of question, I guess, in some regard, but I was happy to answer it. And I started to answer it, and then Bill said this. Look, you don't have to answer that. It's okay. You shouldn't. No, I shouldn't have asked that. Don't worry. Talk about something else. Now, this happened several times. So, Bill's behaviour was, I think, bad. He didn't show remorse as far as I'm concerned, and he continued and repeated the behaviour. He did it several times. So eventually I had to say this, Bill, you have to get Bill's attention. Bill, you've asked me a number of questions about my business. See, simple fact. Bill, you've asked me a number of questions about my business. I'm happy to answer them, but I need to know two things. Number one, do you really want me to answer them? Because I'm happy to. And secondly, if you really want me to answer them, will you allow me to answer them and not interject? Now, I know that's pretty heavy. I know it's a bit assertive, but I wasn't rude. I didn't say, oh, Bill, be quiet, stop it, or whatever I could have said, which would have been aggressive and rude. Bill was really annoying me. He asked me several questions, and before I got it out, he sort of took over and he interjected. So I had to say to Bill, I'm happy to answer your questions. That's me saying to Bill, it's okay, Bill, it's okay. But I had to tell him that if he wanted to really me to answer the questions, he had to tell me he really wanted, and he had to be quiet. And funnily enough, of course, Bill couldn't help himself before I even finished that almost. He said, oh yes, I know, I butt in too much. I really shouldn't say that. Bill, please. Bill, I really enjoy your company. I'm happy to be here. You've asked some questions which I think are more than reasonable, and I am really happy to answer them. Please let me answer them. So that's the interjector. They interject. Now there's plenty of examples of the interjector. I've even seen interjectors when someone's speaking, giving a presentation, maybe they're on stage, or that presentation is a staff meeting, and I've seen people interject and say, oh, what about this, or what about that? It's pretty rude. And I think somewhere along the line, people have actually got to say, the manager or someone's got to say to them, or colleagues, they've actually got to say, let's let the presenter finish, and then we'll have questions at the end or comments or something. It's pretty rude to interject like that. And Bill's a good bloke. Really, he is. But I'm sorry, that interjecting is not on. To me, it fails to get above a standard of behaviour I expect from people. And that standard is, you ask a question. If it's serious and the question is an honest one, let people answer it. That's the interjector. Anyway, look, whatever you're doing, look after yourselves, look after your family and friends. If you want to get in contact with me, talk about the interjector, how to handle them, how to handle any of the other 52 types of poorly behaved and difficult people, go to the contact page of my website. Plenty of ways of getting in contact with me there. Let's have a chat. All the best to you. Look after your friends and family. Hope to chat to you soon. See you later.